Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be part 3 of my makeup inventory. This is the 4th video of my January 2023 inventory series. In this video, we will be starting with eye products. We will be covering brow products, primers, any kind of base, any kind of a shimmery topper product, and then we're going to start in with my eyeshadow singles and we're going to work our way up to 5-pan palettes, which I call quints. Not a lot of movement happening from this point forward in my inventory until we get to lip products. It's not like I'm finishing whole eyeshadow palettes on a yearly basis, but I think some of the biggest takeaways is that I'm not having a lot of new stuff come in, although some new stuff is coming in, but also I am working on or trying to work on something from every category. And I was really impressed to see that as I'm going through these different categories, I'm working on like one product from every category. Not every category, but almost every category. And that feels really good because at least I'm doing something. Because sometimes in a lot of these inventory posts, I'm saying, here's the same palettes I had from last year. I haven't worked on any of them. Nothing's changed. Everything's the same, but at least I'm working on something in some way. And that feels like progress. So if you would like to see what this part of my makeup inventory looks like, please keep watching. Okay, we're starting off this section of my inventory on a high note. This is my brow product category. I had 13 brow products last year, and this year I have 11. So I used up 2. One was a clear brow gel from NYX, and one was a Brow Wiz pencil from ABH. So those 2 are both gone, and I just finished the Brow Wiz within the last couple days. It's a new empty, but I have decided that I'm going to start working on a pomade, and it's going to be this one. This is a Kat Von D Super 24 Hours Super Brow in the shade Taupe. I haven't used this in a really long time, and when I opened it up, I could tell that it had dried up just a little. It's pulling away from the edges of the jar. Maybe you could see right there, there's a little slight amount of gapping. Away from the jar. I don't know if you could see it. It's very subtle. But this is basically brand new. I mean, I've used it a handful of times. I made a kind of a heart. Can you see the heart that I made? But there's, you know, probably 5 years worth of brow pomade in there. And I'm going to be working on this for a very long time. I'm a little bit intimidated by this product, but, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to tackle it. I'm ready to enjoy it while it's still good. So this is the current clear brow gel I'm working on. It's on its last leg. I'm ready to take the stopper out. So I'm guessing it might have about another month's worth left, and I would like to get this out too. Maybe I should do these 2 for a little bit. I don't know. I do need to finish this too this year, but I do plan to start working on this Kat Von D brow pomade in Taupe sometime this year. But I am happy that this category went down by 2. 11 is not an all-time low. The lowest this category has ever been was 9. So I still have to use up 2 more products to get, well, I still have to use 3 more products to get down to a new all-time low. So I have no idea how that's going to happen. I could see myself using up 2 products, but 3, yikes, that's going to be tough. But I'm going to keep trying. This is a powder, this is a powder, this is a powder. These 3 are all powders. These 2 are powder pomade combos, and these 2 are just pomade. Or powder wax combos, I guess that's what it would be called. And then this is a pencil, this is a pencil, this is a pencil, and this is a clear brow gel. Okay, so that's my brows category, and we are down by 2. Okay, this is my inventory of eye primers. I had 20 last year, I still have 20. I ended up working on this kind of on the side, sneak panning this last year. This is the Urban Decay eye primer. This was in my 50 Shades of Purple, and I wasn't able to use it up. And I decided to just leave it in the bathroom because I needed it every now and then, every now and again. So I've been using it here and there when I'm doing a look that calls for a clear eye base. Other times I use colored eye bases, which I'll be talking about next. So I don't use that exclusively, but I did use it quite a bit last year. I think it's possible I could finish it this year. Maybe. We'll see. But I didn't touch any of these other eye primers. I do keep this NYX glitter glue in my bathroom as well. Whenever I'm putting on something loose or something glittery, I will use this, but I didn't use it a ton. The way I use this most was with some of the loose eyeshadows that I put in the Let's Get Loose project. So we're still at 20 for eye primers. Up next is my inventory of eyeshadow sticks. I had 51 last year and I am down to 50. So this category went down by 1. If you look closely, I bet you can see the great disappointment of 22 sitting right here. I just sharpened it this morning and thought it's going to fall out. There's going to be nothing left when I get done sharpening it, and there's still product. It's not gone yet. I'm still working on it. I'm also working on these 3. This is a Too Faced liner that I put into Partners in Cream. This is a pink multi-stick that's in 50 Shades of Pink. And this is the Benefit Eye Bright that I'm just waiting to use as soon as Milk is gone from NYX. Aside from those 4, I did work on this one in Project 10 Uses. I really became quite fond of it after some growing pains. But I haven't really worked on any of these other eyeshadow sticks this past year. I would love to keep working on some. I would love to keep getting these numbers down. But for now, I plan to work on these 4. And I do think I could finish this Too Faced one. So this category should go down by 2 by next year, I think. I think I could finish this Too Faced one. I don't know about these 2. We'll see. But yeah, we're down to 50 for eyeshadow sticks. Oh, I wanted to show you. I keep them in this glass jar, but they don't all fit. This is an empty 3-wick candle. So I will show you what it looks like and how close I am to getting them all to fit in just a sec. Okay, so even with these 4 sticks being pulled out into the bathroom for regular use, I can only get everything in here except for these 2. So I'm definitely motivated to keep working on these sticks, at least to the point to get them low enough that they all fit in this jar. Obviously, at one point they all did, but then I got a bunch of sticks complimentary from Julep, and that kind of messed me up as far as my numbers go. So I need to use up a few more and keep working on some more so that I can eventually get all my sticks back in my little jar. Okay, here is my inventory for eye bases. I had 37 last year and I'm up to 38. I didn't buy any, but this is another product that came, oh my gosh, I'm so clumsy. This is another product that came from a kit from Trish McAvoy. I've had it for years and years and years, but it was zippered up in a bag, and so I never really took the pieces out, but I need to do that for accuracy of inventory purposes. So I am now counting this as an eye base. Currently, I have this in my winter shop, my stash. It is a very old Stila cream shadow. I call them eye bases, but some of them are just cream shadows. And I'm working on these 2. This is a Maybelline Color Tattoo and Fool's Gold that I have in the Panner's Pan. And this, of course, is my Mary Kay eye base in silver, which is currently in my Partners in Cream project and was in my 2022 Project Pan Roast. So congratulations, Mary Kay. You made the cut. So we are now at 38 for eye bases, but I didn't finish any, and technically nothing new really came in. Just updating the numbers. Okay, here's my inventory of loose pigments and glitters. I had 89 last year. I still have 89. I tried to finish a couple of these in Let's Get Loose, but in the end, it was a very failed attempt. This one right here was one of the ones I worked on. Didn't make much progress at all. And same with this one. This is Honor from Bare Minerals. I just didn't reach for them. I had way too much distracting me. By the way, I also found this in my bathroom, which means the reason that's strange is that everything in my bathroom is typically in a project pan, but I have no idea what project this is in or if it's even in a project. So if any of you know why that was in my bathroom, shout it out in the comments for me, because am I supposed to be panning that? I don't know. But yeah, not much has changed. Other than the question mark over that one L'Oreal Infallible, I don't have any plans to pan any of these at this moment in time. I did put this green one in my winter shop my stash. I would love to get some use out of that, maybe in Project 10 uses. And I do like to roll these kind of products into Project 10 uses typically, so you might be seeing them throughout the year, you know, in different little 10 use projects. But I'm still at 89 for this category. All right, here is the category of things I fondly refer to as fancy top coat thingies. I like to use them as toppers to eye looks to give them some life and some sparkle. I had 51 last year and I have 53 this year. That's because these two came into my life. These were both gifted to me from Elizabeth. Thank you, Liz. I really appreciate it. This is the Rowan Disco Eye. And this is the Victoria Beckham shade in Tea Rose, I believe. Yep, Tea Rose. I've also been working on this little Butter London glazing, oh my goodness. I've also been working on this Butter London Glazing Eye Gloss in my A to Z project. Not sure if I'm going to keep going with that or not. I would like to put one of these in a project, but to be honest, I have no idea which one. I haven't picked one out yet to put in a project, but I would love to work on one of these this year. So these two are currently in Project 10 uses. This one's in Beauty A to Z. But I don't think I've really worked on any of these other shadows in the past year, unfortunately. Actually, I think one of these larger Butter Londons was in Project 10 uses this year too, so got a little bit of love. But I didn't buy anything new, just these two new ones came in as a gift. So my category is now 53. Okay, up next are my Super Shock shadows. This category sadly went up by 1. I had 72 for the last several years, and I brought in a new Super Shock shadow that was gifted to me by a lovely subscriber, thinking foolishly that I would finish ColourPop Couche by the end of the year so that the number wouldn't go down, but at least it wouldn't go up. But of course, I didn't do that. I still have Couche, and now my number is up by 1. So there are 73 Super Shock shadows here. All of these up do not have pan, and then these 2 rows at the bottom do have pan. So I have 19 that officially have pan. Now, this shadow I used 30 times. So if it wouldn't have been smashed to bits, it would probably have pan. And this shadow I've used like 20 times or 27. I don't know. I used it a bunch. So if this shadow wasn't smashed to bits, I'd probably have pan. But I'm leaving it up there because I have no way to prove pan without pan. That makes no sense. I'm sleepy. But yeah, I'm leaving them up there for now. But several years ago, I set the goal of hitting pan in all of my Super Shock shadows. And even though I haven't been actively working on that goal for a while, I can't help it. I got to keep it up. So I have 2 goals for this year, for this category. One is to finish Couche. For the love of God, can I please finish Couche? I love this shadow, by the way. It's one of my favorite shadows ever, but I've been working on it for forever, and you know, it's definitely one I would repurchase 100%. I don't care about my low buy. I don't care that I have way too many Super Shock shadows. I would 100% rebuy that. I just love it. But it's time for that one to go. And my other goal is to hit pan on a few more from this top area and collect some more pans. I want to get back into doing that. This is my only official new pan since last time, and that was in my 50 Shades of Purple project. So I do have these three plus this one in my Winter Shop My Stash, and then this is ColourPop's Ritz. This is the new one that came in. I love it. It is so beautiful. It's just a perfect glittery topper, and that's in project 10 uses. So I'm probably not going to hit pan on it in 10 uses. Stranger things have happened, but I doubt it. But I am enjoying that very much. So I think you'll be seeing these popping up in projects here and there throughout the year with that have the goal of hitting pan on them. I want to hit some more pan, so I don't know how I'm going to squeeze this in with everything else I have going on, but I'd like to try. Up next are my depotted eyeshadow singles. There hasn't been any change to any of these in the past year. I had 223 then. I still have 223 now. Nothing new came in, and sadly nothing got used up and moved out. I am currently working on this shade right here, which is called Halo from Looksy Beauty, and I'm also working on this black, which is a Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade, why can't I remember it? Because I haven't used it in a long time. Corrupt. So those are the only two eyeshadows I'm currently working on. I have my plate full of eyeshadows this year. I don't know if I could squeeze any of these in, but I would like to. I would like to use up a few more of these little squares or circles to make room on my magnetic palette, because I think I'm going to be needing a little extra space in the coming months, and I'll explain why in the next post. But yeah, I didn't touch these at all in the past year. We're still at 223. Here are all of my eyeshadow singles. I had 140 eyeshadow singles last year, and this year I have 139. I did use up an eyeshadow single, which feels pretty amazing. However, as I was setting up all these singles, I thought to myself, if I could just finish off one eyeshadow single a year, I will be down to zero in just 139 years. And then I got a little sad again. But those are the numbers. I'm currently working on, these are out even though I'm not really working on them because they were part of my Dude You Pan My Battleship project, which is still ongoing. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, that's open and I just touched it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 are still in my Dude You Pan My Battleship project. I haven't really worked on the rest of these at all this year, but the fact that I'm working on 13 feels really good. I do want to keep working on these old guys here. I do have some that broke at different points along the line and are now in depotted jars or separate little jars. This is an antique. This was my mother's. Guess what brand it is? If you've watched my previous inventory, don't spoil it. Max Factor. This is an old Max Factor compact from, I don't know, probably before I was born. Am I ever going to put this shadow on my eyes? Probably not, but I can't get rid of it. Maybe I'd put it on my eyes. I've done crazier things, but I really like that. I can't believe how much space they used for a little eyeshadow single. I guess back then women only had one eyeshadow. So, yeah, this is my collection of single eyeshadows. I might pull this Kiko one to the side. I've been craving a bright blue inner corner highlight, and I might play around with that a little bit. I don't know if that's quite the right shade. that I'm thinking of in my head. But, you know. This is actually a blush from Clinique. It's a gift with purchase, but I liked it so much as an eyeshadow that I moved it to my eyeshadow inventory. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about these. Oh, I do have something I want to say. I have heard about MAC deciding to change its Back to MAC program. And from what I understand, the deadline is March 23rd, which is basically like 6 weeks away. I'm not going to be able to finish any MAC makeup. I do have a bag of some MAC empties in my office that I could probably get one free lipstick. But I have decided that if I'm close enough to getting a second free lipstick, I'm going to go ahead and depot some of these MAC singles and add them to my depotted singles inventory and Back to MAC the packaging. I've never tried to depot this packaging though, and I don't know if this is in a pan or not. I have no idea. So if any of you have ever depotted this style of eyeshadow, let me know how it went, because this one kind of intimidates me and I might just leave it in the packaging. But yeah, I might be depotting some of these for Back to MAC. I'm really curious to see what their new program is going to be. It sounds like they're not just stopping it altogether. It sounds like they're like changing things. Like it's going to be a change. But yeah, I'm kind of panicking with the Back to MAC program ending, because I certainly thought I would have a lot more time to use up MAC products. Oh, I have 2 more down here too. Actually 3. So yeah, some of these might be moving over to my depotted singles category for next year's inventory, which means I need to use up some depotted singles to make room for more eyeshadows. So it's changing my plans in real time, but that's just some thoughts that are going through my head. Okay, here's my inventory of duos. That is palettes with 2 pans of shadow. I had 30 last year and I have 30 this year. Excuse my mess. There has been no change, but I have been working on one. That is my Baby Pan That palette, my Smashbox Duo sample of the Full Exposure palette. And I'm gonna finish this year. That might be a bold claim, but I'm gonna try. This was obviously originally a trio, but once I finished one of the shades, I decided to move it down to my duos, and I think I'm going to keep doing that in theory. As I finish shadows in palettes, I'll move them down to the next lower category. I don't know, I felt like that might be more motivating for me as I'm panning these palettes that take forever. I have a feeling that this might be my next Baby Pan That palette. I don't want to look too far ahead to the future, but it's hope that keeps me alive. This is a duo that I made in a video. I just talked about this recently, but I filmed a video a few years ago with Jessica and Amanda about how to pan black shadows, and I thought this was really fun. I took a chunk of a black shadow and I mixed it with Becca's Opal highlighter to get this kind of khaki green shade. And then I took a chunk of Purple Horseshoe from the ABH Moonchild palette to get this kind of bluey blurple shade. So I didn't buy this, I made this, but I would like to use this up, and I don't think there's a lot of product in here compared to a typical eyeshadow. I just used a tiny amount. And if I could use up this purple shade, this blue shade, that will count towards me hitting pan in the ABH Moonchild palette. I could add it to my pan percentage once I finish that. Why is the dog barking? So we are still at 30 for today, which is the same number we were at last year. Here are my trios. That's 3 pans in a palette. I had 25 last year. I have 25 this year, but I am working on one. I am working on this trio right now in my Panner's Pan project. I have a usage goal on this, so I'm not going to finish it. But it does feel good to be working on one of these trios finally, because I feel like this category hasn't really received much love in a few years. This shade is broken and the powder is sitting in a container. I think you guys probably figured out my MO. When things break, if I don't have time to repress them, the product ends up going in a separate container and I forget about it for a while. So yeah, that's not a palette with pan in it. That's just a broken shadow. This is one of my all-time favorite trios. I absolutely love the Smashbox trio. Do you guys remember this? Oh my gosh. If I could only have 3 shadows for the rest of my life, that would be it. It's the palette called Pick Me. And look at that beauty. That's Victoria's Secret, guys. It's a gem. It was a whole denim themed trio of blues. Gotta love the blues. The only trio here, well, there's 2 trios here that have pan. This one has pan right here, but I didn't hit that pan. Jamie did, and then she gave it to me. And then I have a little baby pan right there. But largely, the majority of this collection is barely used, if not never used. This is still sealed and this is still sealed, so I didn't even open them up. But I'm still at 25 for trios. Okay, here is part 1 of my quads. Those are 4 pans in a palette. I have divided them up by affordable drugstore and high-end, more expensive quads. I had 32 last year, I have 32 this year, but I am working on one and it is it is half of my Pan That palette. This Maybelline quad down here, which still looks pretty unused. I'm working on it. This is Natural Shock. That's this Maybelline Eye Studio in Natural Shock. I paid a whopping $5.49 for this little quad on clearance at my local Walgreens. This was a little disappointing discovery. I had no idea that that shadow had broken in there, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. But that's one of my 2 ColourPop quads. I'll have to fix that. I'm not currently working on any other quads in this picture at the moment, just this one. And who knows, maybe this category will go down to 31 at next year's inventory. I doubt it, but a girl can dream, can't she? Yep. If any of you are wondering, for those of you that are really bothered by broken makeup, I've started a box of things to repress. So one day when I have time to repress, I will have everything ready to go. So this is my box of things that need to be repressed. There's 3 things so far. Okay, here are part 2 of my quads. These are the high-end quads. They're pricier. I had 24 last year and I have 24 this year. I'm working on this guy. This is the other half of my Pan That palette this year. This is a Clinique gift with purchase. I've been really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to giving you guys a full update in a couple of weeks, but I'm just trying to pan it because I really want to get this category down by 1 for next year. There's a lot of good stuff here. There's a lot of untouched stuff. There's a lot of stuff that Hazel has touched more than I have, and there's a lot of old stuff here, but the numbers didn't go up, so I'm happy about that. And we are still at 24 for my high-end quads. Okay, here are my quints. That is palettes with 5 pans in them. I had 15 last year. I have 15 this year. I didn't work on any of these in the past year, and I don't have plans to work on any of them this year. I find the 5 pan category to be a tough category for me because there's too much product in here for it to be a little quickie, you know, baby Pan That palette or simple project like that, but it's too small to be a Pan That palette. I think the best bet is for me to start putting some of these in my pan in every palette project. look at this Tarte palette. I got this off of Haute Look. This is a massive amount of product and not one highlight shade. I mean, my goodness. That's a lot of brown. Basically, these two browns from, you know, just looking at it without swatching appear to be exactly the same. That's crazy, right? Anyways, I didn't open this one up because it is smashed to bits. It's gonna have to go in my repressing box. I haven't used any of these in a long time, but this Stila one is kind of calling my name. There is a lot of rosy shades over here. I really like those colors. Yeah, so here we are at 15 with my 5-pan palettes. Okay, that's it for this inventory video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.